Hi guys, this is Hani Gut from Cocoweave Coaching again. So this time I have come with a thought that because I have been into executive coaching and I keep on coaching the executive, as I always say, that they are all very successful, super delightful, super positive people whom we normally coach. So there were certain thoughts which were coming to my mind wherein they used to come to us or come to me specifically and say that, these are the issues that I'm facing in my corporate world and I don't know where am I going wrong. So we decided that okay, let's put one by one our thoughts together and see what more can we contribute to the executives who may be the managers, senior managers, leaders, CEOs, CXOs, directors, whoever they are for the organization. So in my last conversation with one of my clients who happens to be a very senior departmental head in an organization, he came and he said, you know what, although our coaching agenda was different, but then he came up with a thought and he said, honey, there's a challenge that I'm facing and I don't know where's the challenge because I'm finding it quite hard now to go ahead with it. The challenge that he was facing is, he says that, it's simple. I had asked my people that there was a certain film that had to be created and certain colors were there. And I gave them, this is how it has to be. I'd given them the outlook. What does the brochure or the film or the program looks like? And this is what I'm expecting out of you. It's simple. It was nothing so rocket science about it. So what happened to me in the morning is just before I was coming for this session, this guy, the printer guy, calls up and he says that, hey, Bob, you know what? We've got your rush order and we know that you need the printing stuff. So I just get to hear from you that you need the printing and the film in 3 colors. He said, yes, exactly. I need it in 3 colors. He said, but then I have been provided with just 2 colors and that is like red and yellow. And I've been asked to prepare the entire film and my brochure in those 2 colors. He says, I just couldn't take it. I said, have they lost their mind? Do they expect to be the film or the brochure or the text or the pictures to be in red color or yellow color? I had shown them the blueprint and I had put the layout in place, which obviously had the black color. How in hell could they miss a color like black, which is so obvious? So he says, what do I do about it? Where did I go wrong? I showed them and I assumed then that the people should have understood it and accordingly they would have instructed the printer. And now when the printer calls up, he says, I don't know what more to do, but all I can say is that we'll have to wait for some time for this black color film to come over, and which means that we would not be able to deliver your final thingy in the time that you wanted us to be. So my client was, you can understand and imagine, he was super frustrated, he was getting agitated and he couldn't identify where did the things go wrong. So we said, okay, let's rewind it. Let's go back to back. What exactly did you communicate and what exactly do you think the instructions were all about it? The instructions is not when he said that after saying it, I said, is that clear? So my thought was, what more you could have asked rather than just asking them, I think it's clear to you, I hope it's clear to you, and I want the things to be done right now. What if you could ask certain more appropriate questions from your team members? And then he comes up with, yeah, I think I should have asked them that, is there something that you people can foresee which may not work well? Are there some suggestions you would like to make? Is there something that someone who can put the things together and let me know that what exactly has come up to you? And in the same thing, he started coming up with his own thoughts, which means he meant that he should have got his people to summarize what he has said to make sure that they both are on the same grounds. So that the job which was so critical and which he assumed, I use the word assume, and you know what does assume means. That's just like making an ass of you and me. That's what happened in the scenario. So had he understood this, so instead of giving them instructions, after explaining it to them, if we would have asked the questions, which gives them a kind of a psychological safety to say the way they perceive, and if there are any disconnects that could be rectified there and then, how much time, money, efforts, resources, and most importantly, the emotions of yours would have been in balance and you would have been able to give your better self, isn't it? So these are the minor things which we do not realize. We being executives or we being into a commanding position, we believe that people are there to listen and assume that yes, they have listened it, they have got clarity and they start working on it. But it may not always happen like this. And therefore the results that we get may not be the same. Second instance, I also let you know, wherein, when you ask someone that you think you'll be able to do this job, and the person comes up and says, oh yes, we have done it dozens of times. You say next, okay, so based upon whatever you say, I can go ahead and commit to the client that this thing would be delivered by so and so date. And then they come forward and they say, yeah, we know our bit, we can do it, but we can't take the responsibility if the equipments go wrong or something else is not at the right place. So if you are acting just as a manager and not a coach, you'll say, oh, okay, so I can understand that you do it, so you'll go ahead with the stuff. And last moment, something might happen. But if you are a coach, you would try to explore what has been not said between the words. So a mention of equipment or something, it will be important for you to dig into that. Do you feel that there is some equipment that needs to be polished or serviced or furnished or anything that needs to be done, so that you gain a better clarity and you would be in a position to help your people in a better way? Simple. It's quite simple, but simple things become the most complicated things, isn't it? So with this thought, I would say that yes, dear coaches or aspiring coaches, when you plan to be with your executives or the coaches, and I mean the managers who are acting as coaches, the first thing that you need to work on is your clarity of communication. So communication, I understand, is a very basic word, but we go deep and we say clarity. Clarity is the most important thing when you communicate with your people. With this thought, I say thank you so much for your time. Keep pondering over this thought before we come up with the next step for you great coaches to work on. Thank you.